Hi, thanks very much for clicking on the video link. My name is Natalie Armstrong-Motin with Marketing Resolution. I really appreciate that you're joining me for another in the series of idle chats for the American Bar Association's Section 4 Dispute Resolution. And today I get to talk to a guest in the region I was born and raised in, the Rocky Mountains, USA. Hi, Teresa, how are you?
Hi, Natalie, I'm great. How are you today?
I'm doing really well. You are my first guest back from my trip abroad for the holidays, and I'm really excited to get to talk to you. And as we chatted about earlier, I'm going to give the cards a shuffle, and we're off to the races, okay?
All right, let's see what those cards say.
All right. I know there's a lot of stress and pressure as I shuffle through these cards.
Did I prepare enough?
Did you do the homework that I sent you?
Did I study?
Right. All right, Miss Teresa. First question, what is the best city?
The best city? I am going to go with Berlin.
Berlin, Germany.
Berlin, Germany. I think it is my favorite city for sure. I think that it has so much history, so much culture, so much awareness and intention. I think it's the best city, and I think everyone should visit it whenever they can.
It's funny that you say that. I got my degree in international ADR at Humboldt University in Berlin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
I
will not disagree with your choice.
All right.
All right, Miss Teresa. It's the middle of the night, we're going to be imagining, and you hear something crash. Are you the kind of person who gets up to investigate, or do you wake up your mate and send them off to possibly their doom?
Oh, I'm definitely up and investigating. Yeah, I just do it. I don't even think about it. And then later I'm like, should I have done that? But yes. Something happened the other day and I heard something. It sounded like, I didn't know what it was, but a really loud noise outside. I don't know if it was a car backfiring or gunshots or what. And I just immediately ran out into the street to see what was happening.
We're going to need to talk about your impulse control a little bit after this conversation, my friend. All right. Next card. Do you remember the first concert you attended?
I do. It was no doubt Tragic Kingdom.
Oh, makes my little heart go pit-a-pat, pit-a-pat.
I know. It was it was the best first concert. I had my super wide leg jeans. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, exactly right. All right. Teresa, when was the last time you stayed up all night?
Oh my goodness. Probably a very long time ago. It was when my friend Lauren was getting married, and our college girlfriends and we kind of took her out a night on the town in New York City, and we ended up going out, but we didn't stay out all night, but we did in the apartment stay up all night listening to music and dancing to the sunrise.
How fun. Excellent story. Teresa, do you happen to have a favorite word or words?
You know what? I think that to stay on this theme, my favorite word is a German word. It's the German word for surprise, Überraschung.
This is a word I'm not familiar with. Say it again.
Überraschung.
Überraschung. Surprise. Well, in French, it's surprise. Big surprise.
Okay.
Teresa, are you a sports fan?
I love sports. I don't follow any sports, any professional sports, but I do really like to play sports, and I like to watch sports live, particularly baseball or softball and tennis. And
you like to play those and watch those?
Yes.
All right, good for you. That's hard on your knees, my friend. Good for you. All right. Teresa, if you owned a restaurant, what kind of food would you be serving us?
That is a good question. I think that my restaurant would have only two categories of food. One would be varieties on turkey sandwiches, and the other one would be ice cream.
Really appreciate the way your mind works.
Okay.
Teresa, is there any movie that you can just watch over and over and over again without ever getting tired of seeing it?
There are so many of those. So many of those movies. I'm drawing a blank on even being able to list them. The movie Ever After is one. There was a period of time that was really hard for me, and my comfort was certain movies, and I would watch those same movies over and over. And so those movies have just become comfort to me. One of them is American Pie 2.
Okay.
So there's a wide range of movies. It's not that they're the best movies in the world. They're just like easy comfort movies.
That's fair. They're coming out at a time when you're having a difficult time and you curl up and turn on the TV and find your happy place.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, because it was just the holidays, the movie The Holiday is another one.
Nice choice. Nice choice. All right, the next card reads, if you could have an all expenses paid trip to see any world monument, where would you go?
I would go to the pyramids. I would love to see the pyramids and it would be great to have like a really tailored tour with an archaeologist. Yeah.
Oh yeah, go on one of the educational tours.
Yes, exactly. Like one of those private tours where they tell you all the interesting things.
Right, sure. Anytime my husband and I travel and we take a tour, I'm always that person in the group who's just annoying the tour guide with, why did they do that? How does that happen? How come that color? Well, who built it? Well, who paid for it? How do you maintain such a thing?
Yeah.
Why did they put it there? Why would you put something like that next to a swamp? Why wouldn't you put it over there? I'm that person. My husband's always giving me the elbow. Shh.
I would love you to be on my tour because I want to know those answers too.
Right. A girlfriend and I, she and I are both that way. And when we were in Italy, we hired an art and architectural historian to tour all of Italy with us. So there were lots of days when we didn't do anything at all. We didn't see anything. We just sat in the sun and, drank wine and took a nap. But on the days that we were touring things, we had this woman with us and she knew all of those things. And it was so much fun because when you pass a building, she could say, now you see that coat of arms at the top and there's 5 balls there. That was this Medici branch prior to when she poisoned her husband because he had an affair with the housemaid. And now you see this thing over here, there's a pineapple on a steak. And that's because, when they would travel abroad in the Caribbean, the tradition was to put a pineapple outside your gate to tell people that you were home and you were receiving visitors. And they brought that back to Europe. And so you see lots of pineapples on gate stands here. She knew all these little things, all these little fascinating stories, not the dates or the wars, but all the people bits, of the thing. And it was so much fun. I would drop that dime any time in the future because that made the trip, just so much fun, so much more interesting than just walking around and looking at pretty things. So.
Well, and you've maintained that knowledge, like that stayed with you.
Oh yeah, the really important things, like my husband's social security number, no room for that kind of nonsense. The coat of arms for the various Medici branches. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, we know when to put the pineapple out.
Well, yeah, this is imperative.
This. I'm going to just turn off my video real quick so I can close the shade.
Sure,
but I'm still here.
That's fine.
Okay, sorry about that. The sun does just come in.
That happens.
Okay.
All right, Teresa, what can you think of that might be fine in small numbers, but horrifying in large numbers?
Oh my gosh. Swimming laps.
Yes, I can see how that would be true. Not where my mind went, but really good answer. Swimming
I don't know
laps.
why my mind is going to these places. I'm still kind of waking up. So maybe these are like still like weird dream concepts.
Right. Maybe it's the uncaffeinated thoughts that are the more pure.
Sure. Yes.
The more, it's the more id.
Yeah.
All right. Teresa, what do you know now that you wish you had known 20 years ago?
Ooh, never skip a dentist cleaning.
Good advice, that. Very good advice. Children, if you're watching
truly
this video, floss.
Definitely floss, never skip. It's all that, even if you don't have insurance, it is still worth the $120 to get your teeth cleaned every 6 months. That is truly the one regret I have in my life. Because, you have to deal with the repercussions of that the rest of your life.
Yes, that's one of those things you can't undo once it's been did.
You can't like have a mediation between you and your teeth to repair the harm.
Although I do talk sweet to them, it's not exactly the same thing.
It's not
Not exactly the same. All right. Teresa, what is the worst thing that you've ever eaten out of politeness?
Ooh, it's not that this thing was bad, but red meat, I have eaten so little of it in my life that it can make me really sick. And sometimes I've eaten, if I'm someone's house for dinner and they didn't know, I'm going to still eat what they put in front of me. So sometimes I've eaten some red meat out of politeness, and it was delicious, but it was bad for my system.
That's all right. Just not for you.
Just not for me. Yeah.
Not for you. All right. Teresa, can you think of anything that may have been cool when you were young, but is decidedly not at all cool now?
Oh my gosh. That's so hard because I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, and so many of those fashions are back now. So I would have said things like acid wash jeans and mom jeans. I definitely would have said mom jeans, but apparently now I don't have mom jeans, and therefore that makes me not cool. So,
not cool.
I don't know. The New Kids on the Block? I don't know. They had to come back too.
They did. I was thinking maybe MC Hammer and those huge parachute pants.
Yeah.
I don't know if those are coming. I see. I'm not cool enough to know. That's the challenge.
I don't know. Let's not give anyone any ideas on the parachute pants, though. Yeah.
We'll keep that just between you and I.
Right.
Oh, now this is a question that may be divisive.
Okay.
We'll warn viewers in advance. This could be a trigger kind of a conversation. When you're flying in the middle seat, which armrest or both belongs to the middle seat passenger?
The middle seat passenger gets both armrests. They do not get to go over the armrests. So they don't get to just like put their arm and have it on either side of the armrests, but they do get the space from both armrests in.
You said that with great authority.
Oh, yes. I feel very strongly about flying etiquette.
I will agree. I just got off a handful of airplanes and had on one of the little short hops, the woman in front of me had quite long hair, and she undid her ponytail, pulled it up and flipped it over the seat so that it was on my tray table. And when I tapped her on the shoulder and said, "Excuse me," she was really rather irritated that I had the crust to ask her to remove her nasty locks from my tray table.
Nasty locks.
Just saying.
It's not okay.
It's not okay.
You don't want her hair dripping in your peanuts, or I guess they don't do peanuts anymore, but pretzels, or water, because they don't serve you anything beyond that anymore either.
Yeah. No. Well, I gave her my best mom look, that said,
Good.
you don't want to hear the mom voice,
Mm.
move your hairs. And she did, but she grumbled about it for the next hour and complained to her husband about the nasty woman behind, and, on and on it went. It was much more dramatic than it needed to be, but yeah. So I agree. The person in the middle gets both armrests, because the person who has the window can lean against the wall. And the person who has the aisle, when there's no buggy in the aisle, they can stretch out their legs, they can, lean over, they have all that airspace to occupy. And the person in the middle, definitely both armrests. I'm with you, sister.
Great. I've
All
had
right.
someone once undo their hair and flip it back, and it's been so long it hit me in the face.
Just, ooh.
Not okay.
No.
Not okay.
Taking off your shoes, please don't.
No.
Please don't.
No.
Yeah. Don't bring your
I
tuna fish
understand.
sandwich on the airplane.
Right. I understand if you need to loosen your shoes because of the pressure and everything. Absolutely. Loosen those laces. You need to.
I can do that. Now, I've been on really long international flights where I did remove my shoes and put slippers on to be more comfortable during a flight. But yeah, I just can't imagine, one, that the floor is really clean and you want your stocking feet on that floor. And two, just for the rest of us, no. All right. Teresa, what is one of your favorite books?
Oh my goodness. One of my favorite books is The Handmaid's Tale. I've read it, I think, 4 times. The first time I read it was in high school. And I was really into very serious books in high school. I thought I was really important reading serious books, but I do love that book. I think I get something different out of it every time I read it. Something about the story or the way it relates to my life or what it relates to happening in society is different, or I notice something different about it. So for me, it stays very much alive. I haven't reread it though since the TV show has come out though. And then my other favorite books are the books in the Outlander series as well.
Those are books I have yet to read. Now, have you read the complementary book to A Handmaid's Tale?
I have not. Is it Testaments?
I think that's right.
I think that I started it maybe a year ago into COVID, and the angstiness of it, and maybe the angstiness of the world. I'm like, nope, I have to go back to really light books.
The Princess Bride. That was my sort of reading level during COVID.
Yes, I have never read that. I bet it's really enjoyable.
It's one of my all-time favorite books. It's just one of those books that you can read on a Saturday in its entirety, really enjoy it, get a good laugh. It's, I guess the television equivalent of like The Big Bang Theory.
Perfect.
It's just a nice, funny read. It's a good way to go to sleep, like a cat video on YouTube. Yes. One of those kinds of books. And yeah, I've always thought that happiness is like a diet of the mind. Like you're very careful about your physical diet. And I think that happiness is the same thing. You choose the artwork that you have on your wall. I always choose happy faces. I always choose something that's positive. Happy colors. I choose happy people to be my friends. I choose happiness. I choose happy music. I choose happy books, happy films. I choose happiness. And, when exterior pressures start to push their negativity on you, I think you really have to be diligent about maintaining, the cat videos in your life.
Yeah, finding that balance, and you're really choosing what are the things that make you happy.
Yeah, it's one of it's an easier defense mechanism, I think, than most people think it might be, but it's one of the more powerful things that we have as humans, is the ability to choose happiness.
Yeah.
And you do have to make the choice. So, Miss Teresa, well, I think that you're important regardless of your reading material. And I thank you so much for joining me. I'd like to end our idle chat by asking you the same question that I asked all my guests. And that is, what do you love most about the resolution industry?
Oh, goodness. I think the thing that I love most about the resolution industry is that the work that we do truly, for me at least, is aimed at improving relationships. And when you talk about choosing happiness, for me, my relationships in my life, that's what makes me happy. And so when we are working on addressing conflict, working on our communication with each other, understanding and listening, all of that is aimed, at least from my perspective, at improving and growing relationships. And so I think that for me, that's the best thing in life. And so that's, I think, the best thing about working in this industry.
What a lovely answer from a really lovely person. Teresa, thank you so much for joining me on an Idle Chat today.
Natalie, thanks for having me. And, I suspect we would be very good travel buddies with the way we think about plane rides, as well as what we want out of our tours and experiencing new cultures and places.
Well, anytime you find yourself on the European continent, you let me know, and we'll share a tour guide and go learn some good stuff.
Sounds great.
All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you.